Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Really love interacting with you guys. So without further ado, just as a quick little introduction, this is actually a continuation of our video where it says we were wrong. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and go check that out. That way this video makes a lot more sense. Now, this one is actually going to be titled a little different because we're moving into another topic which there will be more videos on. So as I was describing earlier, essentially, ooh, another little mushroom. We've been having a lot of rain lately. So as you probably know, I have been redoing this area, ripping out all the grass and stuff. And now this did benefit us when we were doing this section, but I just don't see it all the way through since we're only 2/5 of the way. So, because we do have quite a large area to cover. So I ran across a video about cover cropping that helped me reach a new understanding. So we have used cover crops before, and those of you that don't know what a cover crop is, it's essentially a crop, whether it be edible or non-edible, purposes of fixing nitrogen or phosphorus or all kinds of different things. They even have some to use as a mulch layer. Now, one of the ones you can use as a mulch layer and also a pest deterrent is lemongrass. Now, I had never thought of it this way, but essentially lemongrass and Johnson grass grow very similarly, if not the same. What you're seeing taking over this section of the garden is Johnson grass. Now, a lot of the sections, now not all of them, the plants have actually died back. So like right through here, where the sun really just penetrates this area, you're not going to have a whole lot of leftover growth because of the grass. Now back over here, over this way, you can already see that, I mean, there are plants everywhere, alive, producing. We got basil plants over here. Our citronella is huge. We even have a tomato that's still alive. Made it through, 3 or 4 seasons. There's our citronella back there. Now in this area, because of the plant density we have, we will continue to probably weed all this by hand. But that also means that everything planted beyond, about right here, about right where the sagebush is, this whole section over here, there's no actual plants that we can use. So what we can do is treat the Johnson grass just like a cover crop to help save myself time and a whole lot of energy. So what we would be doing is what's called a tarping method. We will cover this whole area in tarp. But before we do that, it's part of like a permaculture design. Like I said, we follow different techniques depending on how they suit us. This is also considered rotational crops, cover crops, permaculture. I'm trying to think what else it may cover. But anyway, it's a little bit in every area. So the chickens have been going through this area, kind of tilling it up. You can see some of their little, runways they've been using. In fact, we have one over there. We're working hard right now. So what we'll do is essentially we'll take a piece of 2x4, and if y'all give me 1 second, I'll actually demonstrate for you. This demonstration not be the greatest, but essentially you would take something flat, and it may take one person or two people, and I believe this is technically called crimping. And essentially what you're going to be doing is you just kind of roll this down, and you're essentially pushing it down. And this is just me, so I'll actually, whenever we're ready, I'll actually get someone to give me a hand when I'm doing this to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, you just continue to walk down and push it all down. And the reason is this is going to make it to where the grass does not pick the tarp back up. Because if it picks the tarp back up, the tarp's not going to be able to do its job. The tarping method relies on the fact that you're going to be suppressing light, oxygen, and water to the soil, give or take. Technically, scientifically speaking, there are other ways for all three of those elements to get inside the tarp. But the point is that this is just kind of the first phase. This is the crimping phase, and this is just going to kind of kill and just kind of suppress that grass a little bit. Ooh, see. So I'm going to get a section done, and then I'm going to show you guys the next step. Okay, so basically, as you can see, the grass is mostly laid down now. So at this point, we would add the tarp. And boom, there we are. So essentially, I have a bunch of free tarps that I got from work. I have about 6 in total. And yes, they do have holes. Yes, these are not the most efficient. And yes, you are actually supposed to use more of a black tarp that doesn't breathe as well to help sequester light better. Now, those of you that have any experience with tarp, you know if you were to lay it out in a certain area, that area will become dead after a while. The seeds will germinate, they will have no light, they will die back, and it will essentially stop the majority of weeds to grow. So much to the point you can actually use this method to make something of a barren land with a heavy mulch on top. Now, this is not the only method, again, that we will be doing. Why would we do this? Well, essentially, I can do this whole area and let it set for 1 to 3 months while I finish the other half. I'm not going to stop working while I'm waiting. We're going to be doing both simultaneously, allowing me to actually do or take care of this garden in half the time. It would take me about 1 to 3 months just to clean up that side regardless. So if I can cover this side for 1 to 3 months, then and kill off the majority of the grass, even if it's not all of it, we're still going to be putting our cardboard down, which is essentially going to follow the exact same principles. We're just trying to get a little bit of a head start and kill off any weeds that may try to grow and make it easier when we're laying the cardboard, so we're not as worried about things trying to grow through, which takes a significant amount more of your cardboard, because essentially if you don't do something like this suppressing here, over here every gap in the cardboard has a 6-inch coverage, to where 6 inches past that gap is covered. And I mean, by the time you lay it out, that's a lot of cardboard there, both good and bad, but still a lot of cardboard and a lot of work nonetheless. That is why we're going to be looking into these kind of cover crops. Now, we are going to be using other types of cover crops over here, not lemongrass or anything like that. When we're using cover crops, you can pretty much expect us to use, trying to make sure we don't step on any of the new plants that aren't fully established yet. We're going to predominantly use green beans, things that are going to be nitrogen fixers and stuff, but we can also get a harvest of food forest. We're going to replicate a forest with a food source. This, for example, is wonderful. This is like a green bean vine. It hasn't really been producing much. Again, that's fine, but it's sitting here taking over, mixing, helping fix the soil. We do have some flowers, so we'll probably have fruit production later on. But things like that will really, really help us. Again, they're going to assist in the coverage. Now, there are other cover crops that are edible. Things like radishes, beets, carrots, green beans. There are so many different types of cover crops out there. Even wheat, certain types of wheat can be considered a cover crop. Now, they all have their pros and cons. Everyone is going to choose a different cover crop at a different time. And the reason is because we all have different needs and different areas we grow in. So just make sure you do your research and you consider everything responsibly and thoroughly. Now, I think that's pretty much the majority of it. I really appreciate you guys for your time and everything. I hope you all have a great day. Be kind out there, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We'll see you guys on the next video.